So, you've got a home near the coast. That beautiful view? Well, it comes at a price. There's a constant, invisible assault on your house. And when it comes to your deck railing, making the wrong choice isn't just an eyesore, it's a huge safety hazard just waiting to happen. In this explainer, we're going to give you the real insider's guide to picking a railing that will actually last. So you only have to do this whole thing once.
So let me ask you this. What do you think is the #1 threat to your home's exterior? You're probably thinking about the big stuff, right? Hurricanes, major storms, and yeah, of course, those are huge. But there's a more persistent, silent enemy at work, 24/7.
You know what it is? It's the very air you're breathing right now. That salty, humid sea breeze that you love, it is in a constant, relentless battle with every single metal surface on your property. So let's break down exactly how this invisible enemy works, because only then will we know how to fight back.
Okay, so to make the right choice, you first have to really know your enemy. See, salt air doesn't just cause one kind of rust. Oh no, it launches a multi-pronged attack on metals. Let's get into exactly how it operates.
First up, we have something called pitting corrosion. And believe me, this one is incredibly sneaky. I want you to imagine tiny, invisible drills boring deep into the metal, totally hidden from view. That is what salt does. So while the surface might just look a little stained, the actual core of the metal could be dangerously weak.
Then you've got crevice corrosion. Think about all the little nooks and crannies in a railing system. You know, under the screws, between the joints. Salt and moisture get trapped in there, and they create this super concentrated, corrosive soup. And you know what? These hidden spots are almost always where failure begins. And finally, there's galvanic corrosion. Now, this is just basic chemistry that you absolutely cannot afford to ignore. If you connect two different metals, say an aluminum post and a regular steel screw, in a salt spray environment, you've basically just created a battery. The less noble metal will literally sacrifice itself and rapidly corrode away to protect the other one. It's a disaster.
Now check this out. What's so important here is how dramatically the risk changes with distance. If you're within 500 feet of the salt water, that's right on the water, you are in what's called the severe marine zone. The material choices you have to make here are absolutely non-negotiable. As you move further inland, you get a few more options, but that threat, well, it never really goes away completely.
So knowing your zone is absolutely crucial. But that leads us right into the single most common and most expensive mistake that experts see homeowners and yet even some contractors make, especially when it comes to stainless steel.
Okay, here is the key. You have to understand this. Not all stainless steel is created equal. The difference between grade 304 and what we call marine grade 316, it comes down to one magic ingredient, molybdenum. This gives 316 a much higher PREN score. Just think of it as a corrosion resistance rating. And as you can see right here, 304 just does not cut it for coastal homes.
So, why would anyone even use 304? Well, it's pretty simple. It's cheaper. A railing system made from 304 stainless might be, say, 15 to 25% less expensive right out of the gate. And that kind of saving, it can be really tempting when you're trying to manage a budget. But let me tell you, that saving is an illusion.
Which brings us to this number, 300%. What in the world could that possibly represent?
And there it is. That's the trap. That initial 15% you saved, well, it can lead to a 300% replacement cost in just a few years once you factor in the demolition, the disposal, and the brand new installation. So choosing 304 in a coastal zone isn't a saving at all. It's a down payment on a much bigger bill later on.
Okay, enough about the problem. Let's get into the solutions. We're going to break down the top material contenders, but this time, we're armed with our new knowledge about corrosion.
Glass panels themselves, they're basically a perfect material for the coast. They're completely inert to salt. But, and this is a huge but, a glass railing is only as good as the hardware that holds it all together. If those spigots, clamps, and fasteners are the wrong grade, the entire system is going to fail. You have to specify 316 hardware. No exceptions.
All right, now let's talk about the unsung hero of coastal railings, aluminum. This stuff has a natural superpower. It forms its own protective layer that salt just can't easily break through. And when you add a really durable powder coat finish, a high-quality aluminum railing can actually outperform stainless steel for a fraction of the cost. The only rule? Keep it far away from regular steel fasteners. You don't want that galvanic corrosion we talked about earlier.
Cable railings look fantastic, right? But boy, are they challenging in a coastal setting. All those thin little wires create this huge surface area for salt to just stick to, and the complex fittings are perfect little traps for crevice corrosion.
So even if you do it right and use 316 grade materials, you better be prepared for a really strict maintenance schedule. All right, we've gone through the materials, now let's put it all together. This is where we help you make the best decision for your specific priorities. Whether that's all about cost, or low maintenance, or getting that perfect unobstructed view. This chart makes it super simple. Just find your main priority over there on the left, and then follow it across. So for example, if you want a railing you never ever have to think about again, a glass system with an aluminum frame is your winner. But if you are right on the beach and you need the absolute toughest material out there, that's where glass with 316 hardware, or even the more robust 2205 duplex comes into play.
And here's the final cost breakdown, but we're looking at it over 20 years. Take a look at the 316 stainless cable. Its initial cost is lower than glass, sure, but once you factor in all that high maintenance and a pretty likely full cable replacement after maybe 15 years, it actually becomes the most expensive system over its lifetime. This is exactly why thinking about life cycle cost is so critical.
Okay, so you've made your decision, you've picked the right material, awesome. But how do you make absolutely sure you're getting what you paid for? This last part is so important for protecting your investment. Here's your simple, 3-step plan to make sure you get exactly what you're paying for. First, always demand the mill test reports from your supplier. Think of it like a birth certificate for the steel. Second, if it's a big project, it is worth a few extra bucks for on-site testing just to be certain. And finally, and this is a big one, if anyone tells you they can tell the difference between 304 and 316 with their eyes or a magnet, they are wrong. It's not reliable, don't fall for it.
Whew, we have covered a lot of technical ground. So let's wrap this all up with a simple, clear playbook. These are the essential rules you absolutely need to remember from everything we just talked about.
Okay, here are the 5 key takeaways. Number 1, never, ever, ever use 304 stainless steel near the coast. Just don't. 2, with glass railings, the hardware must be 316 grade. 3, remember, high-quality aluminum is a fantastic, really cost-effective choice. 4, cable railings look cool, but they mean high maintenance, period. And 5, if you're in the most extreme salt spray zone and you want the absolute best performance, ask about 2205 duplex steel.
So we'll leave you with this question. You view your home as a long-term investment, something to be protected and maintained, right? Well, it's time to start thinking about your railing system